It happened so fast.
The powerful tornado that hit the Beauregard community on March 3rd damaged or destroyed nearly 300 homes. 23 people died and dozens of others were injured. Donations and support have been pouring in since the storm hit, and recovery efforts in the small town just south of Auburn are underway. Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones says the process could take some time, but things are looking up.
There's been a lot of response from volunteers, just overwhelming in the first few weeks, which was very, very heartening to see, of course. And the community response has been great. Volunteers continue to come, especially on weekends when time permits for them. And we continue to receive support from too many organizations to name, quite frankly. I'd hate to leave one out in regard to support in the way of food, water, just providing for the volunteers while they're on the scene and assisting with the cleanup. So I would say that a lot of progress has been made in the last few weeks.
As you can see, some people are underway making their recovery, rebuilding their homes, moving on. Others aren't to that point yet. Some homes are still sitting in wreckage. Other ones are being torn down as we speak. This will be a long recovery process.
Lives were lost, of course. Properties damaged, whole residences, years of family history gone in just a few minutes. It's going to be a long process.
The Bakers are one of the many families in Beauregard that lost nearly everything on that day. They took us inside what's left of their home of 16 years. It's here where Granatus Baker, his wife, and 3 of their younger children rode out the storm.
About the third time the door pushed open, when I pushed it closed, it just exploded.
Baker's oldest daughter, Kiara Slater, once called this place home too.
I used to do homework and everything, and it's all gone.
Their home was near the center of the storm's path of destruction.
And then look at the table. Just show you how strong the wind is.
In that moment before I flew off, I thought we were gonna die, literally. But once I was knocked back, it was just so calm. I just felt the greatest calming over me, and I was just watching all the insulation fly around. It was insulation and wood and stuff was everywhere.
Slater wasn't there when the storm hit, but she had called her mother to warn of the impending storm, and she had to wait to hear if they made it.
15 minutes out of my life there, I'll never forget. Like, I've never felt that type of fear in my heart, because my whole family was in the house. Everyone that has a piece of my heart was in this house besides my son and my husband. So I knew then I wouldn't have known what to do if it had been the other way around. I wouldn't have known where I would be right now, you know.
The aftermath left the Bakers without a home, and while some neighbors are already rebuilding, Baker says the recovery process hasn't been so easy for them.
The recovery process has been slow. Insurance dragging their feet. But the community as a whole and people coming together as a whole, that's what's been keeping everything together. It hasn't been people's insurance, because we're having to wait on our insurance just to see what we can get FEMA to do to help us get some kind of normalcy. So, but if it hadn't been for the people, I mean, I don't know what we would be doing.
The Bakers are not alone in needing FEMA assistance. Hundreds of families have applied for federal help after the storm, but Baker says his family has had a hard time navigating the process.
Once, because that was my issue, knowing what steps we take once our insurance does whatever it's gonna do. That was the main thing, and we really couldn't find anybody that could tell us, and we finally got somebody that could tell us that yesterday. And I mean, now, you know, we have an idea of what our next step is and how the process is gonna be.
But they have no idea how long it might be until they can start rebuilding their lives.
It's all waiting on insurance, because FEMA won't do anything until the insurance takes care of their part.